On the news tonight, Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Pegasan, declares nationwide strike following alleged mass dismissal of Nigerian workers by Dangote Refinery. Armed bandits killed no fewer than 15 vigilantes and hunters in Oke-Ode community of Kwara State. Federal government dismisses claims that terrorists in Nigeria are carrying out systematic genocide against Christians. On the foreign scene, United Nations reinstates sweeping sanctions on Iran over its nuclear program. Good evening, this is News at 7 on Western Spring Television. My name is Oke-Ode. The Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria has instructed its members nationwide to withdraw their services following the alleged mass dismissal of over 800 Nigerian workers by Dangote Refinery. In a circular issued after an emergency National Executive Council meeting and signed by General Secretary Lumumba Okubawa, the union accused the refinery of violating Nigeria's labor laws, the Constitution, and International Labour Organization conventions by dismissing workers for joining the association. The NEC alleged the refinery had replaced the dismissed staff with over 2,000 Indians, calling the action an affront to all workers in Nigeria. The president demands Pegasan directed members in field locations to down tools from today and ordered a total nationwide shutdown across offices, companies, institutions, and agencies from tomorrow. In the meantime, the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors has given the federal government a 30-day deadline to meet a series of outstanding welfare and policy demands affecting its members. These demands include payment of salary arrears, promotion entitlements, and reinstatement of sacked doctors. Resolutions were contained in a communique signed by NAD President Mohammed Sulaiman, Secretary Shuaibu Ibrahim, and Publicity and Social Secretary Abdul Majid Ibrahim at the close of the association's 45th Annual General Meeting and Scientific Conference held in Katsina State. During the meeting, NAD members deliberated on critical challenges confronting Nigeria's health sector. The AGM also marked a leadership transition, with Dr. Sulaiman elected as president to succeed Tope Oshundara, who completed his one-year tenure. On September 12, NAD began a 5-day warning strike, but the association suspended it after 2 days, following the release of funds for the Outstanding Medical Residency Training Fund and to allow the federal government 2 weeks to address its concern. To security, no fewer than 15 vigilantes and hunters were killed in the early hours of today when armed bandits invaded Oke-Ode community in the Ifelodun Local Government Area of Kwara State. An unspecified number of residents were also reportedly kidnapped during the attack, which left the community in mourning. A video of the incident showed the bodies of slain vigilantes lying on the ground. The national president of the Oke-Ode Community Development Association, Alhaji Ganiyu Ajala, while condemning the killings, urged the state government to step up its security response. In the meantime, Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdulrazak has renewed calls for greater military presence in the state following the deadly bandit attack on Oke-Ode community in Ifelodun Local Government Area. At least 15 vigilantes and hunters were confirmed killed in the assault, which also left several villagers abducted and families displaced. The attackers, said to be heavily armed, struck forest guard posts and surrounding settlements, overwhelming local defenders before reinforcements arrived. In a statement by his chief press secretary, Rafiu Ajakaye, the governor described the incident as a major setback despite recent state investments in security, particularly the recruitment and training of forest guards to support conventional forces. He condoled with the bereaved families and praised those who resisted the assailants. The governor stressed that while security agencies had made progress in recent months, additional deployments were urgently needed to push back against the rising wave of criminality across Kwara South and North. Just yesterday, former Kwara State Governor and ex-Senate President Bukola Saraki described the security situation in the state as one of great concern.
Security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of any government. In the last 12 months, over 70 people reported killed in Kwara North, and Kwara South, with 50 people sustained injuries, 42 people kidnapped. Under the present government in Kwara State, if we are not careful, we will become a one-town state where everybody is moving from the north and to the south to converge in order to escape from this serious situation. It has never been this bad in our state. The state by the founding fathers named state of harmony. This is not harmony. This state government is living in denial. It is suppressing the facts and figures, and instead is focusing its attention on opposition. Opposition is not your problem. Opposition is not your problem. Face what you've been elected to do and secure the life of Kwarans and the properties of Kwarans.
Staying with security, police operatives have arrested a tourist fugitive from the Benin Republic Sunday, caught-him and handed him over to authorities in Cotonou following a discreet operation in Ogun State. In a post via X-Force Public Relations Officer Benjamin Undein said caught-him wanted for crimes including inter-border armed banditry, smuggling of firearms and ammunition, cattle rustling and drug trafficking, was tracked down by operatives of a police National Central Bureau of Interpol, Nigeria. According to CSP Undein, the arrest came after Interpol Benin Republic contacted Interpol Nigeria in connection with the crimes, noting that seven members of Cotin's syndicate are already standing trial in Benin, while it fled to Nigeria. In the meantime, the Nigerian Bar Association has demanded the release of Peace Udoka, a young lawyer abducted with her sister by gunmen in Kogi State the day after a call to the bar. Udoka, a member of the National Youth Service Corps, 7 in Kogi, was kidnapped along the Lokoja-Okene Highway yesterday while traveling from Abuja to Benin City. A day after the incident, NBA President Afam Osigwe described the abduction as shocking and deeply concerning. In a statement via X, Mr. Osigwe called on security agencies to act immediately. He also demanded intensified and sustained action to secure the country's highways and restore public confidence in the ability of government to guarantee the safety of people who travel across the country. The federal government has dismissed claims by some international platforms and online commentators that terrorists in Nigeria are carrying out a systematic genocide against Christians. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, in a statement described the claims as false, divisive, and harmful to Nigeria's peace. He stressed that Nigeria's security challenges should not be misrepresented as religiously motivated. According to him, terrorists have attacked Nigerians across faiths, not sparing Muslims, Christians, or people of other identities. Highlighting security operations, Idris said between May 2023 and February 2025, security forces neutralized 13,543 terrorists and criminals, while nearly 10,000 hostages were rescued across the country. He recalled that the leadership of Nigeria's Al-Qaeda affiliate, Ansari, was also recently captured. Idris further explained that over 700 convictions had been secured in the prosecution of Boko Haram suspects. Moving on, a federal high court in Abuja is set to deliver judgment tomorrow in a suit brought by the Department of State Services accusing Professor Pat Utomi of attempting to establish a shadow government. In a suit, DSS told the court that Professor Utomi's proposed government is unconstitutional. Professor Utomi, in May this year, inaugurated a Big Tent coalition shadow government composed of members from various opposition parties. According to him, the government was launched to function as a credible opposition force, highlighting the failures of the Bola Tinubu administration while offering ideas for better governance. But the federal government kicked against the move, describing it as an aberration in the federal system of government. In its suit, DSS claimed the 2007 presidential candidate of the African Democratic Congress was attempting to illegally usurp the executive powers of President Tinubu. It argued the initiative poses a threat to national security and amounts to a parallel authority not recognized under the 1999 Constitution. The agency asked the court for a perpetual injunction restraining Professor Utomi, his agents and associates from pursuing the project, saying the structure could incite unrest and embolden separatist groups. As part of Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary celebration, the federal government held a special Thanksgiving service on Sunday at the National Ecumenical Center in Abuja to offer prayers and give thanks for the nation. The event drew top government officials and security chiefs, including Senate President Godswill Akpabio and Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, as well as the spouses. In his address, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, said the challenges confronting Nigeria did not begin with the current administration and that President Bola Tinubu has embarked on bold reforms to tackle some of the challenges. Dr. Akume noted that every Nigerian has a role to play in building the nation. The service came days after the government unveiled the official theme and some of the activities slated for the 2025 independence celebrations. This year's anniversary is tagged Nigeria at 65, all hands on deck for a greater nation, as announced by the Director of Information and Public Relations at the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Segun Mayosen, in a statement. You're watching this at 7 on Western Spring Television. Still to come, Sarap urges President Tinubu to make public details of the process for appointing the next INEC chairman. We'll bring you more on this